Hello again. This is part 4 of my fixing, organizing, and cleaning the garage videos. Today I am going to remove the shelf rack and tool rack that I previously made. It hasn't been working out for me. And I'm going to start putting up the insulation and sheetrock. I'll also show you, stick around to the end of the video so I can show you the electrical outlets, switch, and lights that my husband and son put up. Very nice job. So the garage is really coming along. Stick around, check it out, and you'll see. Okay, hold up. I think I see a problem here. Yeah, let me think about this a second. Right here in this corner, I'm putting the insulation in. Oh, it's cold. That wind. My nose is all red. So I'm putting the insulation in. I'll staple it over here, and it'll stay up till I put the sheetrock up. Here's the problem. When I put the sheetrock up, if you look up there, yeah, there's wood to put the sheetrock that way. Going that way. There's wood. But if you come here, see I stapled this surface right there, but there's nothing here. What am I going to screw the sheetrock into? Well, I'm going to use this 2x4, which is leftover pressure treated from my deck, but it was so straight I kept it. And good thing, because now it's coming in handy. And so is my lumber rack with leftover 2x4s. It's a way to get rid of it, and 2, I need it. So I'm just going to screw them all up in there in the corner. So I can, not thinking just put the sheetrock up. No, I have something to bite into. And I'm going to pre-drill, and then I'm going to screw it in. trying to show you how I offset the holes. So I put this against the house, let's say. When I screw the piece against it, it's up here. I won't be going right into each hole at the same time. I think I need a taller ladder. Okay, I'm giving you an up-close shot of what I did towards the top of the garage. So here's where the insulation comes from my left side, and it goes in here. I have the thickness of my hand, which is definitely not more, it's more than 3/8, it's more than an inch. So I have plenty of room to slide a piece of sheetrock in there. And then to match this 2x4 sticking out, I doubled up on 2x4s, leftovers that I had, screwed them in. So when I bring my sheetrock across, I got something to bite into. And right here, this sheetrock that's in this slot, we'll say, my new sheetrock will, boom, bite up and push right against it. That'll be nice and tight, and I will be confident putting corner and spackle in. That's the way I figure it. So now I also have to insulate up here over the garage door. So I'm going to get to it. Here's this sill plate that I'm going as high as, because then we start going up to the pitch of the ceiling. I'll deal with that at another time. Right now I just want to deal with going as far as the sill plate so I can continue on my garage. So I got the insulation this far on this side, and I'm going to continue. Now I'm continuing with the insulation on the other end of the garage, on the loft end. And if you notice, there's space in between the loft that I can kind of slide that insulation right through it, or I could cut it and put it up. And make a note that you'll see the blue masking tape on the insulation to the right of me, because those two areas had like 20-inch space in between the studs. So what I did was I just pieced it in, and then I held it in for temporary with some big fat painter's tape, just to hold it in place. Soon enough, sheetrock will be over it, and that'll be a done deal. In the meantime, I'll just be continuing with my insulation, and then I'll be hitting the sheetrock next. I was up there in the loft, I decided to take a little break and wiggle my feet. And I said, wow, there's some old wood up here that's not mine, and I don't really want it. It doesn't match my decor. So I decided that I would take it down and put it out at the curb for someone who may want it. Here I'm showing you that after I put up that row of insulation, I put up sheetrock, making the necessary cutouts for outlets and window. And now I'm going to continue with that. I'm using my square to mark on my 8-foot piece of sheetrock my measurement that I took for the next piece of sheetrock that's going up on the wall. Struck a line, which I will be cutting. This piece right here will be going up next, right in that spot there. After I made my line, I have to cut it, so I decided to use the multi-tool because I could find that first before I could find a cutting blade. Now I've messed my garage up again doing the work, so things are hard to find again. But it does it real nice, real quick, in a very straight line. Now it's time to install the sheetrock. In case you're wondering, that wire I keep flipping out of my way, that's the control wire for the garage door opener. And yes, early on I should have just taped it up to the anything for that matter, the stud that was up there, but I just kept going around it. So when you're putting up this sheetrock, you have to make sure that you're going right dead center of a stud. So a stud is 2 inches thick. You got to imagine the 1 inch line down the middle, and that's as far as your piece of sheetrock goes, because you have to share that stud with the mating piece of sheetrock. And this is a perfect fit. Now I'm going to secure the sheetrock to the studs, any stud, just to get it up there so it doesn't flip down on me. Just put a few screws in there and it'll hold it. Then I'll continue with the rest of the screws. I decided to make life easy and get my T-square so I could bring it to the top of the sheetrock, find the center of the stud, and strike a line down. So all the other screws that I'm putting in, I have a line to follow, and I'll know exactly where to go. No wasted time, no empty holes. I added the next piece of sheetrock to the left of where I was, right next to the window. And at this point, I'm using tape to tape the joints. I got the peel and stick mesh type of tape. Much easier, makes your spackling less gloppy and thick as opposed to using paper. Although I do like using the paper tape. I feel I've gotten skilled enough with it. However, it's a very chilly night out. I don't want to put any spackle up. So what I'm going to do is use the peel and stick tape. And then tomorrow, if it's warm enough, I'll put a thin coat of spackle to start with. And then it will cure better. I don't want any cracking or shrinking or anything like that. So I'm putting tape on all my seams right now. And then I'm going to come back and go over them, make sure they're nice and flush against the sheetrock. Okay, I'm going to stop for tonight. I started about 10:30 this morning. It's about 9 o'clock tonight. So that includes going to Home Depot and getting the stuff and all. First off, I want to show you my new light. Okay, my husband and my son put a lot of things in for me, like outlets, hardwired the light. So what I did today was all on this wall up to the sill plate up there. I'm going to step back and show it a little better. And there is the sill plate. That's as far as I went. Now, check out this light. This is so cool. Guess what? See that? Bluetooth speaker. That's what that is on both ends. And we've had it in here, and it is so good. It is so nice to hear it. So here's my new outlets. Okay. All done up there. I have a switch here. So when I first come in, boom, I have the light. The light will go on, which I can still also control by the string. And that's where I'm at so far. And I think that's good. So there you go. Day one of my insulating and sheetrocking. That's a very important day. It's going to allow me to start organizing and putting stuff on my wall. So I think it's been a very productive day. So this concludes part 4 of fixing, cleaning, organizing your garage. You gotta check out part 1 to see the before and after is so cool. And even the during, part 2 and part 3. So check them out. In the meantime, please give me a like, give me some comments, let me know what you think, and subscribe because I really love doing this and I got more for you. Thanks for watching.